What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of GG Gaming. I am your host, Andrew, and joining me today is Alpha Stoutland and WreckitRyan. Say hello, guys.
What's up, guys?
Hey, everyone.
It seems like Papagenos is not able to join us today. If he is available at some point during, he can join us during. But this might wind up being our final episode of the year, because next week is Christmas, and the week after that is New Year's, and everybody seems to kind of be getting a little bit busier. If we can get some more episodes in, we will. If not, that's why. But this episode, we're going to focus on our top 5 games that we played this year. Not necessarily the top 5 games that came out this year, but somewhat modern, but the ones we played this year. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our top 5s. We're going to take turns with our 5s, then 4, 3, 2, then we'll name some honorable mentions, and then we'll all talk about our number 1s. I don't know if we probably won't have time this week to answer any questions or anything, so but there was something I wanted to address. A number of people have mentioned in comments or to me that they would be interested in being a guest on the show, and that's something I'm totally down for. I just think that we're still trying to solidify the show first, because not everybody could jump on all the time, and we want to get it established first. But I'm totally down to have people, especially from the community, join. What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I had a couple people say, "Oh, I'd love to be on here." One person, and I'm sorry I forgot the names of the people, but one person said they'd be interested in talking about retro games. Another person said they wanted to join on to talk about. I don't remember if they said something specific, but yeah, I'm totally down for that. But anyway, so without further ado, let's jump into our top 5. Are you guys ready?
I am ready.
Yes, let's do it. I'm pumped, man.
All right. So, number 5. All right. Who wants to start with their number 5?
Let's let Drew go first.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So, I want to clarify that I'm not. These are most these are like my top 5 games of that I played this year, but I don't have confidence in the order, but I'm pretty sure that this is the correct order. So my number 5 game is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I know it came out last year, but I got a Switch for Christmas, and I didn't play Zelda till the beginning of the year at some point, especially because I started off playing Super Mario Odyssey, and then I started playing Breath of the Wild. So I played that a couple of months into the year, and it was awesome. There were some moments where I was not necessarily bored, but I was a little frustrated because I'm so used to Zelda being a little more linear. But it definitely was enjoyable, and I did like the sandbox aspect of it. Although I don't know if I would want this formula in the next Zelda game. I feel like it was good for one Zelda game.
It's a break from the norm.
Yeah,
that's an interesting question.
What if it should continue doing that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it's one of those things that was good for one Zelda game, and they can incorporate elements from it going forward. But I don't know it. Yeah, I mean, the weapons breaking worked for this game, but I don't want to see weapons breaking going forward. So, and that's just an example. Like, how big the land was something that was awesome, and I would love to see in the next game something on a large scale. But I don't know if we're not going to do sandbox, then I don't think it needs to be that large.
Right. And I like the Divine Beasts, but I do miss the big dungeons.
Yeah. But it was great for one game, something that experimented. Because other Zelda games have broken from the norm once, like A Link Between Worlds did the whole renting items, and I think that worked, but it's not something I want to necessarily see going forward.
Right.
The Triforce Heroes I played, and there was a big focus on the different outfits, which was great for one game, but not necessarily something I want to see going forward. So it's one of those games where I feel like it's one thing it did that was great, and I don't necessarily know if I want to see it going forward. But it was still.
It's just one of those things. It's a nice break from the norm, but you don't want it to be the norm.
Exactly.
You don't want it to replace the core of the series. So that's what I'm worried about Pokemon, because I'm hoping Let's Go isn't, like the guideline for the next game. I don't think it is.
I don't
because
think so.
I'm pretty sure it'll be like the more tough, difficult version with more like story and more actual strategy to it, instead of this is the easiest Pokemon game we've ever made, and it's just for people to enjoy because it's easy. I want like a challenge, and so that's what I'm hoping for. And it's kind of like that with, like you said, with Zelda. So I think it's just kind of those. It's a big, whoa, this is awesome on the Switch thing that they just made this big grand world just to show off, kind of flex on their fans and show, hey, we can do something this big.
Right.
PC and Nintendo.
I did want to mention that in the description for this episode, I might not be exactly saying what games we talk about, because I do want there to be a little bit surprise with our top 5 games, especially because we don't know what each other's top 5 are. So like me, Alpha, Ryan, we didn't talk about our 5 games beforehand, so we want you guys to be surprised as well. So anyway, let's jump on to one of you guys. Which one of you wants to say your top 5? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Virtual rock, paper, scissors.
Okay. All right. Ready? Let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Say it.
Scissors.
Oh, I was gonna do scissors. All right. I'll just go.
Okay.
Eat up more time.
Yeah. We spent an hour trying to figure out who goes next.
Yeah, right.
All right,
How
Ryan.
can we pick rock 50 times in a row? No, okay.
And the one time they did something different, they both picked paper!
That'd be so intense. That should be a whole episode all its own. Now, what if rock, paper, scissors was one of my top 5 games? That would be pretty sad.
That is, to segue in, that was Ryan's number 5.
All right, sorry. So I was going to talk a little bit first about how I compiled my list.
Sure.
Because I have this personal philosophy with video games that I call time value. And it's basically how I value my game purchases. So basically how it works is the hours that I spend playing the game should equal or exceed the amount of dollars I spend on that game. So, for example, if I pay $60 for a game and I get 60 or more hours of like fun time out of that game, then I value that as like a good purchase. So basically every game on my list passes this rule, and how I vetted the list for the top 5.
Okay. That's actually really smart.
Yeah, actually, I should clarify. I chose mine based on kind of remembering, because when I'm playing each game in the moment, I'm like, oh, this game is great, but I'm trying to base it on which ones pop out the most from memory now, which is a little bit more difficult towards the end of the year because they're more recent. So I'm kind of trying to go by the big ones for me personally, obviously, which were, I suppose, my favorite in terms of which ones were like, oh, yeah, that game, I remember really enjoying that one. So, I don't know, Alpha, did you have a specific way of compiling them?
Honestly, kind of a mix of both of yours. It's really just, it comes down to, did I enjoy the game? Would I play the game again? And I mean, was it fun? Did I have fun playing it? And also, did I remember playing it? So that's kind of what I've done. And like I said, I don't get a lot of new games. Black Friday was rare for me because I bought 5 games and I still haven't played all of them. I've only played half of them, about halfway through.
Well, maybe they'll be on your list next year.
Maybe. Hopefully. I think one of them will be on the list right now today, but I know one is. I know one for sure. But I'm looking forward to those hopefully being on my list next year. But really, it just comes down to, did I have fun with the game? Did I like the characters? Did I like the music, the story, the world that it was in? So that's kind of what I'm basing mine on.
Okay.
And also how much I like the series.
We probably should have addressed that in the beginning, but this is pretty much the beginning anyway.
Yeah,
my number 5 was Breath of the Wild. Okay, so Ryan, what was your top 5? Number 5, I mean.
Wait, I'm gonna go one at a time here.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. I meant what was your top 5th choice?
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Sorry, I'm just being tough here.
Yeah, I know.
So my number 5 was Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Ooh,
So
I bet that'd be higher, huh?
a
I
lot of
haven't played it.
surprises tonight.
oh.
So I absolutely love the Xenoblade series.
Really?
This game did release December 1st last year, but I spent the vast majority of time playing it in 2018. I have great memories of playing it last Christmas when I first got it. It was one of those like Christmas morning games. My older brother was watching because there are these awesome cutscenes, and we kind of like slowly were unveiling the story. And like when we took a break from the game, we were like talking about it and being like, "Oh, I wonder if that character is gonna betray us." Or so it's just so cool to have the story that just kind of unveiled itself like watching a movie almost.
Mhm.
Because there are just so many cutscenes, and I love the characters, love the voice acting, and then in terms of gameplay mechanics, I actually really liked the combat changes, which I know are controversial with like building up and unleashing these deadly combos. I really like that, and there's just so much to do. Going back to my time value, this is a game that has ridiculously good value for the price. And I have the Torna expansion, and I've still yet to beat the core game. So there's just so much to do, and I've loved every moment of it. So I'll definitely finish it by the end of the year. But yeah,
So
it's a great.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was a game that I want to play, but a question I have for you is, do I need to play the other games to play this one?
No, absolutely not.
They're not connected at all?
No, only via the Torna DLC is it like tangentially connected. Some of the concepts you may like be unfamiliar with, but they kind of introduce everything as being fresh and new. So no, absolutely not. It's a standalone game for the most part.
So the other games in the series, are they like different worlds or different universes or something?
Well, I can't answer that 100% confidently, but I know Xenoblade X is an entirely different universe.
Okay.
I think the first Xenoblade may be the same multiverse or something, but Xenoblade Chronicles X is like completely separate.
Okay.
And then the first, but someone in the comments might correct me, but they're pretty much all standalone in terms of like and being able to enjoy it.
Okay.
Which
cool.
there was a DLC with Shulk, Fiora, and Elma too, right?
Yeah, that's why
That's what I
wanted
was
to
saying.
know.
The DLC is connected, right?
Okay.
But beyond that, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm guessing it would explain it in the context of the if you were playing it.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Alpha, would you like to talk about your top number 5?
Sure, if you insist. So my
I
number
do.
5 pick, if it isn't obvious, I'm a big Shantae fan. So
Mhm.
I actually bought the game, the original Shantae, on the Virtual Console on my 3DS around the time Shantae really started blowing up on my channel. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get my feet wet in the series and try it.
Mhm.
And I got it. And honestly, it's a lot different than I thought it would be.
Really?
I had a fun time with it at first, and I really was enjoying it, but then I really got stuck on where to go and where the items were and stuff. I was just like,
Mhm.
I'm not having fun. I had to end up looking with the walkthrough for the most part, and so I don't have a bad taste in my mouth because of that. It was just so difficult to find my way. Part of that is because it's an old early 2000s, late 90s game. It has that design where it's going to be tougher.
Yeah.
And the enemies weren't really that tough. It was, I mean, once you got like 10 health hearts, I mean, you were pretty stacked. And once you get the Harpy transformation, you're just straight up OP. But
Wait, is this the first one or Risky's
Yeah,
Revenge?
the very first one.
Okay,
Yeah.
the very first game.
Yeah, I do have Risky's Revenge that will be coming to the channel soon.
Nice.
But yeah. And but the transformations, they're all the simple ones, the spider, the harpy, the elephant, and the monkey. And once I finally got all them, you know, I felt like I can actually do something with Shantae now. Hold on. Had to clear my throat. Sorry.
Mhm.
But
That's suspenseful.
once I really got the hang of it, and once I, really learned what enemies did and, where I was going, it became more fun. And I still had to use a walkthrough to get all the squids and stuff like that. And I looked up I actually kind of looked up how to beat the final boss. I'll just say part of the final boss, because I was just like, how do you do this? But I finished the game. Obviously, the final boss is risky, but fought her. That was fun.
Spoilers?
I mean, that's obvious. I mean, come on. But if that's not obvious by now, I don't know what is. But that, man, she's the first enemy, first game. Anyway, but yeah, just I like the pixel art style. I'm glad it's different. But my most favorite thing about this game was the dancing. Like, I love the little button combination dances. Like, those were so fun to just mess around with. Like, I remember just sitting there for like 5 minutes just messing around. I was like, I'm just sitting here just mashing buttons, making a girl dance. Like, what the heck? But it was fun because they took that out later with Pirate's Curse and Rescue. I mean, Half Genie Hero. And so, you know, seeing where the series started and seeing them keeping that, I was like, oh, this is cool. And plus Shantae is adorable, even at 16-bit format. And just the worlds, the areas look so good for being a Game Boy game.
Or 8-bit,
16-bit. Yeah, I forget.
I don't know. Whatever.
But it looked really good. I mean, it looked great for a Game Boy game. The music was great. It was a good way to get my feet wet on the characters too. Bolo is a bumbling idiot. Holy cow. But it really made me like Roddy Tops. You know, that little hip dance she does and stuff.
Oh, that's right.
And,
yeah.
Did it make you want Shantae and Smash even more?
Oh yeah. Every time I'd use an attack, I was like, "Yo, this would be a great up tilt. This would be a great forward smash and stuff." And like she has like an uppercut kick, and I was just like, "Dude, this would be so perfect as like an up smash or something." But yeah, it helped satiate my appetite and got my feet wet for the Shantae series, and now I'm very excited to play the rest of the series for the channel. And it was a great way to start.
Did you play that game for the channel?
I did not.
Okay.
I'm not going to mod my 3DS, and I don't have a capture card.
Oh,
so
I see.
yeah, I played it on my own time, and I'm glad I did because again, I needed a walkthrough, and it took way longer than it should have. So
how are you going to play the second one for the channel?
I have a screen capture. I bought it off of Steam.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then I'm planning on getting because I got the physical copy of Pirate's Curse ordered. It's like a what was it, limited run?
Yeah, me too.
Edition.
Oh, nice.
So I got that, and so I'm planning on getting a capture card for my Switch, because you can take that on and off when it's docked. So unlike your 3DS, which you have to mod, so I'm planning on getting that, playing that for the channel. Might play some Smash, Odyssey, stuff like that for the channel. I just kind of talking now, but yeah, I plan on playing the rest of the series for the channel.
Yeah,
so I'm very excited to start with that.
I got Pirate's Curse from Limited Run, but I wanted the special edition, and as it was sitting in my cart, and I was setting up the payment method, when I went to buy it, it was sold out. I'm like, how? So I winded up jumping on eBay and pre-ordering it from eBay for like $150, and I was like, I need this now before the price goes higher. Because it's like
someone bought the special collector's edition and sold it on eBay.
Yeah, to make a profit.
That's what people were saying. What is that? Scalpers got a hold of them first. That's a shame. But it wasn't. Just let the fans have it.
Yeah, but it wasn't. The price wasn't too ridiculous because for a special edition, I was like, all right, I'll spend $100. It might have even been $130. But I was just like, I just want to do it because I really wanted that game. I also tried to get the special edition for Jak and Daxter because they have 3 or 4 the series coming out. Each one in the collector's edition looks like it's in a kind of a hardcover book. And I'm like, that looks so cool, but I missed out on that because that was also sitting in my cart and sold out while I was trying to purchase it. And then on eBay it was like hundreds of dollars. So I was like, I guess I'm not getting this.
Yeah, I'm a pass.
Yeah. But it would have been really nice to have because it was a really slick-looking set of books. And it just looks so cool. But anyway, I guess we can go on to our number 4s now. All right, so my number 4 game of the year was... Oh, wait, I forgot to say... Number 4! So my number 4 game was God of War. I'm a fan of the God of War series. I played all the games so far, and this one was really interesting. People consider it kind of like a reboot. It's still a continuation, but it's more like a soft reboot in the sense where it's a continuation, but it's a new mythology. And there's a reason why, because you wind up, while you're playing the game, you wind up finding out that there are multiple lands, and each land is kind of like has its own mythology in it. But they never explain how you travel from one land to the other, which is a shame, because I really want to know what happened to the land of. They actually call it Greece, so I want to know what happened to Greece, and what is Greece? Is it a world? Is it just like a country in this world? I mean, I know Greece is, but I mean, like,
I got news for you, Drew.
Well, I mean, like in this,
This ain't Kingdom Hearts.
yeah, in this universe,
Oh gosh.
is Greece a planet, or is it a dimension?
Or is it a movie? I'm sorry. Bad,
Because-
Chris.
well,
Bad.
It is.
Awful joke.
Because we know
Great.
because we know in Greece
Great.
the land is flat, because what's his face, Atlas, or maybe whichever is the Titan that holds up the.
Atlas, yeah.
It is Atlas. Okay, yeah. I mean, because he holds it up. There was a world pillar in one of the games that got destroyed, and he holds it up, so you know that the world is flat. So and at the end of each world is like, I mean, sorry, at the edge, it's like there's an edge. It's like one giant land, but there's an edge around the planet, like, so you can fall off. So it's like, where is the other land? So I just kind of imagine that they're different universes, but they don't explain how you go there, and they don't explain what happened between the ending of God of War 3 and the beginning of this game, or rather how he got there. They do explain that he winds up getting a wife, and they start throughout the game, they build up the lore of this new world. But I have to say that when I was playing the game, I thought it was going to be much larger than it was. And I say that because they start talking about this new lore. They start building up Odin and Thor in terms of lore, and you have the 9 realms. And so, like, hours into the game, I was only on maybe the second or maybe even third. I think second or third land or whatever out of the 9, the realm. And I had not yet met Thor or Odin. So by the end of the game, I thought I was still like towards the beginning of the game and thinking like, wow, this game is going to be really long. And when I beat it, I wound up beating it thinking, where's the rest of the realms? And where's Thor and Odin? So if you go into the game thinking you're going to see that by the end, you'll be a little bit disappointed, but the game itself is really good. So.
Huh.
I actually saw I already knew the timeline, but I actually yesterday was watching a video that went over the timeline of God of War, and I was like, this is a nice refresher course. But yeah, there's like 5 or 6 games in that series now. There were 2 PSP games, there was 2 PS2 games, there was 1 PS3 game, and now there's the PS4 game. So, but anyway, that was my number 4, and Kratos is awesome. All right, Ryan, what's your number 4?
So my number 4, the game starts with the word 4. Well, kind of. It's Fortnite. Whoa, I know.
Oh,
Controversial pick.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what Fortnite is?
That's
Fortnite. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you said Fortnite. I was like, what's Fortnite? Is that like a
Sorry,
Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight kind of thing?
It's a very bad pun, but Fortnite, yes, that's my number 4 game. By sheer principle that I've played this game for 125 hours so far,
Wow.
haven't paid a single dime on it.
You haven't bought any of the dances?
No, I have not.
Smart man. Smart man.
I know that's the hardest part, is not caving in to buy the emotes. But yeah, so I have a little bit of a story for this game. I know it's a controversial pick, and it's very polarizing. But I played this game by myself for a while, just kind of solo and queuing up with other random people online. And honestly, wasn't having a great time with it. I was just kind of getting killed left and right, and I was just kind of questioning why I was still playing the game. And that was until I joined a Switch Discord server. It was basically a bunch of people playing Fortnite on Switch, because at the time it was not crossplay, so you could only play with other Switch users. And I started teaming up with people I had met, and then we were, talking over Discord while we were playing, and that just made the game infinitely more fun. Like I was just having so much more fun connecting with these people and being able to like meet up at certain times during the day just to play. So I thought that was really, really cool. And then they opened up crossplay with Xbox, and then finally Sony eventually caved in and offered crossplay as well, which was a pretty big milestone, by the way, just like in terms of gaming history.
Yeah.
But all of my friends in dental school play Fortnite on the PS4, so now I'm able to play with them, which is just like a whole new level of fun.
Nice.
So being able to play with my like actual friends and just random people online, but especially my actual friends, has catapulted this game to number 4 on my list. It does have a super steep learning curve, so it was super frustrating for like the first 80 hours of playing this freaking game.
Wow.
But I'm finally actually pretty good now, and I discovered like Builder Pro, and my friends trained me with building and everything. So now I'm having a great time with it, but
Nice.
it took a while.
So you're not spending any money on the game?
No. Well, I have to clarify. I did purchase the Battle Pass Season 4, I believe, which was $10. And then if you play the game enough with the Battle Pass unlocked, you can get enough in-game currency to buy like the next season worth of Battle Pass, which is like 90 days or 100 days or something like that.
Okay.
So basically, if you pay $10 and you play enough, you can pretty much afford to play every Battle Pass every season, and even might have some left over for a dance.
Nice.
So,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
I've not played Fortnite. Usually when I see a game is really, really, like, a lot of the kids are playing it, I usually tend to not want to play it, because I'm just like, oh my god. But that doesn't mean, like, I wouldn't try it out. It's just, that's kind of the impression I get. But also, it's not a first-person game, is it?
No, it's a third person.
Okay, because I was going to
Yeah.
say, I'm not big into first-person, but if it's third-person, I'd be more inclined to try it out.
Yep. It's exclusively third person. PUBG, like the main competitor, has a first person mode and third person mode, but Fortnite's only third person.
What's PUBG?
A Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Oh.
It's kind of a similar game, but well, I shouldn't say that, but it's the same battle royale format, but just much more realistic. My brother actually plays it on YouTube. He has a much bigger channel than me. He has over 130,000 subscribers, I think. But
Wow.
he's a big PUBG.
I should start playing
guy.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
No, don't do it for the views. Because you like it. What's his name? Just showed us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, give him a
Curious now.
shout.
Yeah, let's plug him. Derek G.
All right.
DREKG.
I think his name. I think he's been suggested to me in my recommended tab. I believe his name has popped up or somewhere because that name sounds familiar.
Speaking
So-
of
Yeah, okay.
recommended tabs,
Yeah.
or tabs in general, I know some of us were putting each other in our channels icon things. So I put all you guys in. So I hope you reciprocate.
Yeah, you guys have been on there for a while.
All right, cool.
How do you do that? Because I went to try to add you guys, and I don't know if I don't have enough subscribers to unlock that feature, or
I don't know. I think I have the least subscribers out of all of us. So if I could do it, you should be able to.
Oh, that's
I think
true.
you just have an option. I think you just have an option to edit your channel or.
Wow.
I
Okay.
think so. I think you have to add it first. Yeah.
I think once it's up there, it's just clicking on it to edit. And I don't remember exactly how I got it up there. I think there's
Gotcha.
I think it's considered a widget if there's a way, if you know how to add your widgets. And I don't
Oh,
remember.
okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. I'll have to check that out. I think that's
Okay.
the problem. But sorry, I don't mean to take up more time. But
No, that's
yeah,
fine.
I'll figure it out.
Okay, cool. So I said God of War, you said Fortnite. And Alpha, would you like to discuss your fourth pick?
4 is kind of a tie, honestly, because I still haven't really decided which one I like more, but they're both Black Friday purchases, and that is Starlink Battle for Atlas
Ooh.
and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Both of these games are fun for totally different reasons. I actually stayed up. Thankfully, I had the day off the next day. But I played Starlink till 5 in the morning.
Wow.
The day I got
Whoa.
it. Yeah.
That's
Thankfully, I had the day
normal
off
for
the next
me,
day.
but wow.
Yeah, I never do. I don't do
Yeah,
that anymore.
that's saying
Um,
something.
Yeah, because it's just such a time sink game. I was sitting there because I have the starter pack, so it's got Fox and the R Wing, and I love that because
Cool.
Fox is so cool. I've never played a Star Fox game, but I love the Team Star Fox guys. I love all of them. Pepe's hilarious, and Fox and Falco are so cool. Of all of them, Falco's my favorite. He's just got so much swag. Anyway, I'm rambling.
Do a barrel roll.
Do
Do
a
a
barrel
barrel roll.
And he actually said that in the first 5 minutes of the game. I was like, yes, you said it. But it's cool how they just kind of tack this storyline into the main story because it's a Switch exclusive story with the Star Fox guys. So it's really cool how they just kind of segued them, wedged them in there. But it's just such a fun game. Like, you're just sitting there flying your ship around and like, oh, cool. There's a giant monster not monster, it's really an animal species on the planet. Like, I can scan this thing's signs and like register it in my journal. And then you go mine some rocks and go shoot some bad guys. And it's like, oh, cool. I can use this flamethrower in this ice thing. And it's just like flying around. It's like, holy crap, I need to go to bed. I have actually not touched it at all since I played it that night.
Oh,
wow. Just because I knew it would be another time sink, just like Smash is being right now. More on that later. And then on to Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I have not played a Donkey Kong Country game since I was 8 or 9. My Super Nintendo crashed several years ago, and so I haven't played Donkey Kong Country in years. I remember very, very vividly beating King K. Rool in the credits with all the characters, and such a great game. I loved playing that as a kid. And when I saw this was on sale for Black Friday, I was like, I gotta get this game. And it's just, the level design's cool. It's tough, but it's not to the point. It's like, it's kind of frustrating, but it's one of those things, you die because you messed up. It's not just ridiculously difficult. And it's kind of just like, you have to learn the level layout and what each character does. Like, I remember the first time I figured out Cranky Kong bounces on spikes, I was like, oh, that's what his down thing does. But Dixie is OP in that game. She's so good. But it's just such a fun game. It looks so pretty. All the characters, like Donkey Kong's like, ooh, and I love all the characters' voices, and it's just such a great looking game, and it's just such a fun game. And it's kind of a collectathon because there's bananas and there's the puzzle pieces, kind of like Banjo and Kazooie, and it's just such a pretty game. And I love the characters. I've got very fond memories of all of them except Dixie because she wasn't in the first one. Makes me hope that the next Donkey Kong Country game King K. Rool's in, but it's just, they're both such great games. It's hard for me to pick a number 4 specifically, but it's a dead tie between them because I haven't finished either of them, and I love both of them. So that's my number 4. It's a joint effort between Tropical Freeze and Starlink.
Does that mean you don't have a number 3, or does that mean you have 6 choices?
I do. It's another Black Friday.
Oh, so you pick your top 6 games.
Like I said, it's like a dead tie. If I had to pick between the two of them, I would have to say Starlink.
So then the other would be your number 5.
Well, Shantae's number 5.
No, yeah, I know, but I'm saying if you had to pick your top 5 and you picked Starlink as your number 4, then I guess that would put Donkey Kong as your top 5th game and Shantae as your 6th.
Yeah, all the Shantae fans are sitting there crying, heresy! Heresy! But I'm
I love Donkey Kong
loud tonight. Yeah,
I like Donkey Kong, but I suck at it. But
it's definitely harder. I was like, you only have 2 hearts per character. What? But it's
in the old ones. It was 1 per character.
Yeah.
That's what.
So they did make it a little bit easier that go around. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's our number 4s, and it's time for number 3. And let me pull mine up again to make sure I got it right. Okay, so my number 3 choice is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and I guess by default also Eevee, but I didn't play Eevee. This game is awesome, and I didn't want to talk too much about it before when we were talking because this was on my list, and I figured we would talk about it now. But I don't think this is going to be the norm going forward. I think this is going to be the norm for its own sub-series, if they continue it. because they did say that they weren't gonna make a second one unless this first one was popular enough, and I think it's popular enough. So I'm expecting to see
definitely.
a sequel. And I'm actually, my guess / theory is that the second one is going to be Let's Go Pichu and Togepi. People were saying like Marill and something else because Marill's like the Pikachu, but I think that they're going to do Pichu and Togepi because those two were kind of like the faces of Gen 2 at the time. Togepi was one of the first revealed in the anime, and then Pichu kind of became like, obviously, a Pikachu of the series. So what I'm thinking is they're going to find a way to give Pichu and Togepi exclusive moves to actually make them viable, and maybe the Pichu or Togepi that you get in the beginning will be buffed out to actually stand a chance. And there was another thing I was going to say, but and just like we got the Pokeball Plus that came with Mew, I think they might do a GS Ball Plus that comes with Celebi.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
That would be so cool. But it's basically the old games with improvements. And the only thing I don't like about the new stuff is that Pokemon can run away from you, which makes shiny hunting almost not worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, but if you're not shiny hunting and you're not trying to build up combos for that, and you're just playing the game normal, it's pretty fun. I like seeing the Pokemon on the screen because it makes going through caves and areas that aren't grass that have Pokemon that pop up, like the power plant and whatnot. It makes going through those areas so much, not necessarily easier, but less frustrating and actually more enjoyable.
And probably faster too, because you're not finding a Zubat every 5 steps.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right.
And I'm a Pokemon fan, and I agree that does get frustrating.
Yeah. So I would love to see that. I actually would not mind seeing that incorporated into the main series in terms of seeing the Pokemon on the screen. But I think that once you encounter it, I would prefer the old, the main series battle mechanics.
And they've sort of touched on that already with like Oros, where they had the like Pikachu's or Zigzagoon's butt would like wiggle out of the grass, or you'd see Illumise and Volbeat's like light in the grass. So they could do something like you said, they could just segue into like the battle scene. So that would
That's
work.
exactly, yeah. So I wouldn't mind the way they always had it, except I actually do like the idea of seeing the Pokemon on the screen. Random encounters are fun too, but I think that this is, in the end, a less frustrating way to go about it in the long run. Like when it comes to caves and stuff. Especially because you can see a bunch of Pokemon at the same time and that's the one I want. So you try to run into that one as opposed to going through one at a time. Rarity would still
be a factor. Yeah, rarity's still a factor. You just know what it is.
Yeah, so you can avoid all the Pidgeys and stuff and be like, there's Hakomo or whatever the Pokemon is, So
we're jumping 6 generations ahead, boys.
Yeah. And the game did have some cameos from a couple of characters from the other games, which made me question where in the timeline it fits. Unless these characters, or at least the one that they showed, there was one, and I'm not going to spoil who it was, but there was one character from Sun and Moon that winds up appearing as an NPC in the game that you can battle. Ooh. And it wasn't Lily. It wasn't Lily.
Oh, dang it!
Appearing in Kanto. It was just like it was just one of those characters. It was just one of the characters.
Spoiler alert.
Was it your boy Guzma?
No, it wasn't even really a main character. It was one of the.
Don't spoil it.
It was just like one of the main NPCs in a sense, without being like one of the main story-centric characters.
Okay, it was one of those. If you played this game, you know who this is.
Exactly. It wasn't a major character, so you're not like, oh my god. You're kind of just like, huh? Why are you here?
So that's a missed opportunity though with the Lily thing.
Yeah, yes, but dude. See, the thing is,
that's a missed opportunity.
If this does take place at the same time as the old games, then this is before Lily was even born, I guess. Which makes me wonder why this character's here. Is this a younger version of this character? It's a little hard to tell. So, because I was trying to figure out, is this character younger. So I don't know, but
This is a weird timeline.
yeah. And then there was
Flash messed it
one
up.
of the Team Rocket admins was also in the game, but it was only one of them. So I was like, where are the others? And I'm guessing they'll appear in a potential sequel because, at least in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, that's where they appeared.
Yeah.
I think in Gold and Silver and Crystal, they were just referred to as Team Rocket admins. But they kind of set it up for a proper sequel. But I really do think that Togepi and Pichu should be the ones for a Let's Go. Let's Go, Pokemon Let's Go 2, Pikachu and Eevee? I don't know. I don't know what they would call it, but yeah, I think so. I think a Pokemon Let's Go Pichu and Togepi would be the sequel. But I'm excited for this sub-series, which I think is still considered part of the main series. It's just like its own sub-series in the main series, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, that was my number 3 pick.
Okay.
All right, Ryan,
Yes.
what's your number 3?
Okay, so my number 3 is Stardew Valley. This game obviously has been out longer than just this year on multiple platforms, but I think I bought it, I want to say this summer, maybe a little bit earlier than this summer, but I played it religiously during the summer when I was out on clinical rotations in dental school. And basically, after a hard day working with patients all day, this game was so relaxing. I looked forward to sitting on the couch with the air conditioning, designing my farm, taking care of the animals, maybe doing a little mining or killing some slimes. It was just so fun. I mean, this game was the old style Harvest Moon games that I loved so much that, I mean, that series has basically gone down the toilet in my opinion. But I'm so happy this game exists because it's Harvest Moon done right, and absolutely love this game.
Nice. What kind of, like, what is the game kind of? Like, I've never played it.
It's a farming simulation
And I've never
game.
played Harvest Moon either, so
Okay.
I don't really know what to expect from it. Is it like Animal Crossing?
Sure. In some ways it is. It's a farming simulation game built on building relationships with different NPCs in your town. You can, focus on designing your farm, getting certain animals, and really it's built around like making profit that you can use to buy better things, better animals. But then it also adds in the component of combat, so you can explore not really a dungeon crawl, but you can explore different floors of a mine that you can fight different slimes and everything, and you basically fight your way down to deeper and deeper levels, and the mine gets increasingly difficult, and you need better gear, you need better weapons and better food items in order to survive as you go deeper. So it's kind of like a combination of Animal Crossing / Harvest Moon, making profit, and then also not just having a lot of money, but then using that money and applying it so that you can beat these harder levels and capture these difficult creatures.
Yeah. Nice.
So it's a super deep game, and it has a lot of value in it. And
do you still play it?
I haven't. Well, I have so many other games, like the ones that are higher on it, higher than it on the list. But I definitely I have not beaten it. But there's probably a little bit more. I think I played it for, I want to say, probably 65 something hours. So, and it's a game that it did not cost. Going back to my initial philosophy, I think I only spent, I don't know if it's $15 or something like that. So the amount of time that I've had having fun with this game is like far outweighs the value in my opinion.
Nice.
Okay.
What system was it for?
The Switch, but
okay.
it's been out on the PC and Mac and everything
for an eShop
for
game?
much longer. Yes.
Oh,
It's an indie, right?
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right. I might have to check that out. How much did it cost?
I let me see. I can look it up really quick because I don't want to give you the wrong number. Let's see.
I think you were right. Yeah, I think
is $15.
15.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep. It's $15.
Okay.
And,
Cool.
yeah, that is a absolute steal. And I think I may even gotten it on sale. But even if it's not on sale, it's a steal at $15.
And how many hours did you say you put on it?
I want to say at least 65, and I haven't beaten the game yet.
Wow. Is there actually an ending to the game? Or is it something that keeps going?
Honestly, it keeps going. So it keeps going indefinitely, but there's a point in the game that you can get to where you like technically beat it, but you can play indefinitely.
Wow.
Which I love as well. So there's no true ending.
Kind of like Pokemon. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Well,
the narrative ends, but the story continues.
Right. You make your
Except
own
there's
story.
probably more stuff to do in Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
As opposed to in Pokemon where like, well, I guess I could just catch Pokemon now.
Well, then there's also shiny hunting and battling online
Yeah.
and the battle trees and stuff like that. So yeah, there's more stuff. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, they're different games, but yeah, they both have a lot of replay value.
Mhm.
Or well, I shouldn't say replay, but continued play value.
Okay, cool. So, Alpha, what's your number 2?
Well, number 3.
2.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah, 3. Sorry. I was like, wait a second.
Let's just say, what you jumping for? Number 3 is another Black Friday purchase. It is ARMS. I did not think I would like ARMS that much, but holy cow, it is such a fun game. I'm a Lola Pop main. I love Lola Pop. Ever since I saw her trailer for the when her release for DLC, I was like, I love this girl. This girl looks like fun. She's just, and it's funny because I used to be terrified of clowns, and like the only 2 I like right now are Lola and Ronald McDonald. 'Cause they still kind of creep me out to an extent. But, and I guess Mr. Mime, kind of, because he's kind of a clown. Anyway.
I guess. He's more of a mime.
Did you see that Pikachu Detective Pikachu movie trailer?
Yes. Oh, he's so freaky in that.
Mr.
Oh,
Mime
he's
gives
so
me
weird.
legitimate nightmares.
I know, right?
Speaking of movies, I guess we're not really going to talk about it this episode because we're doing our top 5. But next time, I would like to discuss that Sonic poster for the Sonic movie.
okay.
Gosh.
If did you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
continue.
Where it's like,
I just wanted to.
Friends.
I just want to say that yes, I saw that and I did want to talk about it, but I forgot last week, and our focus is the top 5 games this week, so that's why I didn't talk about it.
You're talking about the one that has fast friends, right?
Both there was 2 of them. There was
chilling
that,
car.
and there was the silhouette of him.
Yeah, with tiny hands. Yeah, I have a lot to say about that. Okay, but back to ARMS.
Yep.
Move past the hands, go to ARMS. It's just such a fun game. Like, all the characters are so different, and they all have such interesting weaknesses and strengths. Like, Lola's able to, like, blow up like a balloon and bounce around, and she's more, like, she's kind of, like, well-balanced in speed and jumping and stuff. And then you got stuff like Master Mummy and Max Express who just punch you and tank hits for days. And then, of course, Springman is kind of just Springman. He's kind of like,
He's kind of like
he's
Ryu.
pretty good until you go up against someone really good. But there's so many great characters. They each have like great personalities. You know, you got Lola Pop, who's just super boisterous and fun and makes these random animal noises, and then you got Springman, who's like ridiculously over enthusiastic. And then you got Spring-a-ling, and then you got Master Mummy, who's just like super big and scary. You got Max Express, who's like this cocky. He's like 52. I was like, I did not know he was that old.
Wow.
But yeah,
I did not know
he's
that.
this big, tough guy. He's like macho. And then you got Dr. Coyle, who is insane, but she's tons of fun. And Misango and Ninjara and Ribbon Girl and Twin Tail. There's so many cool characters. And even the single player mode with the Grand Prix is tons of fun. And I love it because it's fun, but it's challenging. You can go easy mode with lower difficulty, or you can get your butt stomped by Twin Tail 15 times in a row. It took me so long to beat the secret boss, and I want to keep it a secret because once you get on harder difficulties, there's a secret final boss after the final boss. So if you haven't played the game, that's kind of a secret for you. But that sometimes it takes a little while to beat that boss. It's just there's just so much fun stuff to do. There's hoops where you can play basketball with each other as the characters, there's like volleyball, there's the target practice, there's target games so you can get arms. It's just such a fun game. And like the one thing that I don't really like about it, which is kind of a pro but a con, is that there's no like character specific arms. There's arms that are like associated with that character, like the fun chuck and like the popper for Lola, or obviously the I think it's either Scorcher, Heat, or something like that. The toaster for Springman, because he's got that fire thing that like his boosts his power. They don't really have any like specific hands and arms for them. It's just kind of everybody gets the same arms and you just pick what you want to pick. So I mean, it kind of plays to some other character strengths because they might be able to use an arm better than another character, even if they're more associated with it. But like I said, it's kind of a pro and a con. It's like there's no one that's really specific to an arm, but everybody gets to use all the arms. You just have to unlock them all. But yeah, great characters, fun game. I love it so much, and I have not touched it because Smash Bros. But it's just it's such a fun game. Again, Lola Pop main for life. I love these guys and girls so much. They're just such fun characters.
Nice.
And it's a shame that none of them are playable in Smash.
I was gonna say I'm actually really surprised. I'm surprised that Springman is not playable because I feel like he's the face of ARMS. So seeing him as an assist trophy is kind of like, well, it wouldn't make sense for any of the other characters to be playable. Yeah. Except maybe Ribbon Girl.
I could see Ribbon Girl or even Twintail. Maybe Twintail, just because of her overt popularity in the series. Like everybody loves Twintail.
It's just sexy.
I wonder what. No,
because she has tight pants. That's really the only reason people like a girl. Really, pick the fun clown girl.
Careful.
But you know.
I like Min Min and Ribbon Girl.
Fun. Dude, Min Min's cool. Min Min is actually really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love her dragon motif. So
yeah, I want to say
like
that
ramen bomber and stuff. Yeah.
When you said pro but a con, I misheard that at first and didn't know what you were saying because but a con sounded like one word. So I thought you said pro but a con, and I'm like, what's a but a con? And then I realized like a second later what you said. So I feel like that would be an awesome name for a fictional character, like Pro Buttercon. Or Pro, or you can have Antacon, or you can have Oricon. Like they should be three brothers or something.
I just gave you an idea for Spirit Legends, bro.
Yeah,
Make them a trio.
I was gonna say I'm somewhat copywriting that now. Like, those are mine now because that's how I heard it.
Pro Buttercon.
Pro Buttercon, Pro Antacon, and Pro Oricon.
Pro Buttercon for Smash.
And they're mirror versions. Con
Pro
and a Pro.
Buttercon. Okay.
So
on to number 2.
Yeah. Number 2. So my number 2 is where's my notes? It doesn't matter. I know what it was. It was Monster Hunter World, and that is the game that keeps giving. They just continuously keep updating that game, and they have the different festivals and events where you can get limited time stuff, which is a con somewhat because it's limited, but it's also a pro because it's new stuff. So it's a pro but a con. But
beautiful.
But it's just so much fun. I love playing with people in that game. I know one of my friends likes to play by himself because he won't at first, I guess, because it's more like a challenge to beat each monster or each quest by yourself at first. But I just like playing with people. I think it's more fun when you're playing a game with people. And some of the people are just way better at this game than me. Some of them, though, aren't. But, I mean, a lot of the people that are still playing are just so good. And I love using the longsword. I wish I can play the other weapons skillfully, but I can't. But the one weapon that just that plays well for me is the longsword, and I feel kind of so not unique because there's a lot of longsword users, but I like the longsword. But the monsters in that game are so cool looking. The armor, weapons are so cool looking. The story is not too bad. For a story tacked on to hunting monsters, the story is good enough, I think. It's good enough on its own. It didn't need to be so big. And I think that was one of the things that people didn't like, was that the story wasn't so amazing. And I really didn't think it needed to be amazing for the type of game that it was. I think for the type of game it was, the story was perfect. And then next August, they're adding in the DLC. I think it's called Iceborne or Frozenborn or something. I think it's Iceborne. I just forget. But I'm so excited to see that, and I really hope they're going to continue supporting the game after that, because I don't want that to be like the last thing. But yeah, Monster Hunter World is awesome.
I remember you talking about it last week because I watched last week's video.
Yeah,
and so I was like, man, he loves that game.
It's so cool. And I don't know if it's I don't know if the reason I keep coming back to it is just because of the limited time event stuff that they keep adding in, but every time I get back into it because of the limited stuff, I wind up just really liking it. So, like, I was playing Dragon Ball Fighters, and then I was playing that because I wanted to get the limited time stuff, and then when I was trying to do that before getting to Smash, I was like, I kind of just want to keep playing this game. Because, like, I got back into it again. So, It's just a game that I keep jumping back into. So.
Now, does Rathalos appear in that game, too?
Yeah. I think Rathalos is in every game.
So he's kind of like the mascot of the monsters.
Yeah,
so.
Pretty much. See, there's also one of the things that confused me a lot, but I'm starting to be able to differentiate them, is there's a Rathalos, and then there's one that looks exactly like it, called a Rathian. And Rathalos is the male version, and Rathian is the female version.
Oh!
And I guess I'm not too big of a fan to be able to tell the difference between them, aside from their colors, because I think, I don't know if their models are different at all. I'm sure that there are fans who knows that there's a clear difference and are like, you idiot, it's obvious, but, like, I don't know. Aside
got 5 spikes, he's got 4 on his snout.
There's probably some
noob.
There's probably some differences that I'm just overlooked, but Rathalos is red and Rathian is green, and then you later on there's tougher versions. There's Azure Rathalos, which is blue, and there's Pink Rathian, which is pink. So between the 4 colors, I mix them up all the time. But so there's red, and the Rathalos is red, and the stronger version is blue, and then the Rathian is green, and the stronger version is pink. So yeah, it's awesome.
Okay.
And Rathalos is annoying to fight.
Really?
Usually.
I already summoned him in Smash, and he's huge.
Yeah.
He's so big. Holy cow.
Yeah, I think he's bigger in the game. In his own game, though. I think he's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, they had to shrink him down. He's too big for Smash.
Yeah, pretty much. But there are some really cool like in every game they add in new monsters, and they're so cool. And the downside to it is that they don't bring back every monster. So some monsters were left out in this game, and I wish that just a couple of them were brought back for this game, and I'm hoping that they bring them back in the DLC coming out, or at least some of them, because Zinogre is my favorite monster, and it's also a pretty big fan favorite, and I'm wondering if they're going to bring him back in the DLC. And a personal favorite of mine that I don't think is too popular is Zamtrios, and he's basically like a shark thing. He's like a shark frog. Except, I say frog because he's kind of got, like, amphibian-like legs. He's a shark that walks on land.
That is terrifying.
He doesn't really hop. Like, he just walks on land. He goes under the ground, and he pops up, and he does shark things on the land.
So he's a shark mole.
He's a street shark.
Frog.
Yeah, he's a street shark. And then there was a lot of the monsters have variants or different versions of them, and so he had a tiger shark version that was like in the desert instead, because he was in the game he appeared in. I think it was Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. He appeared in the ice level, and we're getting an ice DLC. So I'm wondering if he's going to appear at all, and I really hope so because he was just a really cool monster. And I just want Zinogre back because he's so cool and his armor is so cool. But yeah, that was my number 2 game. Ryan, what was your number 2?
So my number 2 game was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Ooh, number 2, interesting.
And it's not first because Shantae's not playable in the game. No.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my one con. Everything else is perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we all have many great things to say about this game, so I won't go too long. But there's just a couple things I want to point out that just really make me so happy having this game and playing this game. The first of which is the robust single player, which, I mean, honestly, I could not have asked for more. Like, with the skill tree and the just completely non-linear nature of the first player of World of Light, having that huge world map, it's just so exciting to have that in a Smash game, especially after the abomination of single-player content in the Wii U Smash game.
Smash Tour? You didn't like Smash Tour?
Yeah, we won't talk about that mode.
Yeah, Smash Run was fun though.
Yeah.
I did like Smash Run.
Definitely.
But the Wii U version didn't even have a legitimate classic mode. That mode was so bastardized. Really? It was so awful. It was just, there was no structure to it. You just basically played a couple matches and it was all randomized. It was just super. I could not stand the classic mode in the Wii U version. Or
was
Smash.
it kind of the choose your own path thing?
No, it was like you'd queue up and it would just be this random arena where a bunch of computer. It was so convoluted.
Yeah, that thing where you like picked which trophies you want to fight or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, but Smash Ultimate has like the best classic mode I ever could have asked for. I love how you can kind of. I just love everything. I just love everything about this game. I love the what's it called? The picture, the banner
mural
thing, the mural
yeah.
thing. Yeah, I love how you can basically move along the classic mode based on how well you're doing. It can be a little frustrating, but I just love that mural aspect and how every character has their own themed classic mode with like the name and everything. And then that just goes back to my number 1 thing is that they always spend a lot of energy on Smash games. It's obvious how many resources go into it, but they did it so well in this game. Every spirit battle is so well thought out, and it's just using the resources they have with the characters and their backs and their rich backstories, and it's using it so intelligently to be able to say, yeah, this character has this little tangential relationship to this character, so we'll include them in with this kind of alternate costume with these items on, and it like works with this series that we're trying to represent. And it's just so cool. I've played spirit battles where I legitimately have a huge smile on my face and laugh out loud because I'm like, oh, that's really smart how they did that. You know, they made this big green dinosaur from Yoshi be a giant King Dedede with this certain item on. It's so well done, and they deserve all the praise they're getting. And like, this is, I don't even know what their record is now, but I think it's becoming the fastest selling console game of all time or something like that.
Wow.
And I'm just so glad that that's doing so well because they really deserve all the accolades for this game. But between World of Light Classic Mode, the only downsides are I think there's just some online issues that need to be sorted out, and Shantae not being playable. But besides that, I can confidently say this is by far the best Smash Bros. Game they have ever made.
Yeah. My fear is that any future game, they're going to be taking out a lot of those characters. Because I feel like the only reason some of those characters were brought back were to fit with everyone is here. So
yeah,
like
the ultimate Smash.
Yeah, so whatever comes out after this, I feel like we're not going to have Snake, we're not going to have Cloud, we're not going to have a lot of characters, I feel like, and it's such a shame.
Well, we have a lot of time till then, so we can enjoy the heck out of this one.
Don't mind them porting this game so they can just add more content.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather them just keep Ultimate going and just add to it. You know, I was fine. I would have been fine with this game being a port of the Wii U game and just them adding newcomers. Like, I would have been completely fine with that because I didn't want to lose the characters we had. And every Smash game, aside from Ultimate, we lose characters. So it's just a shame. Because then when they wind up throwing in DLC, they just throw in characters that we've already had. And it's like, well, they should have just been there. So I'd rather a future Smash game just build off of this roster and not add some of these characters back. So I really don't know how they're gonna top this game going forward. I almost feel like they can't. Like
they really can't, honestly. Yeah.
Like, they're not going to be able to top this game. And I think that they should just treat this as like the only Smash and just keep supporting it.
Mm-hmm. It's the holy grail of Smash now. I mean, it's
pretty much.
It's nearly perfect in every way. You got every character back. You have almost every stage back. You have a good classic mode. You have a decent adventure mode with lots of content. You have an interesting mode in spirits. You've got DLC coming and tons of fan favorite newcomers. It's such a great game, and I'll talk about it in a minute because that's obviously on my list.
So whatever the next Smash game, well, the next Nintendo system winds up being, I would be completely happy and would prefer them to just port this game to it and add new content, because anything else would be less. Because
I completely agree with that.
Because we're gonna lose characters if they don't port it. So, I feel like we're going to be talking more about Smash. So, we'll cut that there because we'll probably pick up from it again. Alpha, what is your number 2?
Number 2, if I could pick an older game, would be Pokemon Moon. But since we're talking about the last year, Pokemon Ultra Sun.
It's fine to do as long as it's somewhat modern. The last couple of years.
But I'll still stick with Pokemon Ultra Sun. I got Moon. I loved that game. I don't know why it got so much hate, because now I'm a stickler for sticking with the status quo when it comes especially to Pokemon. I am very much against changing the formula too much. When Mega Evolutions were introduced, I was like, no, I don't like this. And then when I tried them out, I was like, I love this. When I saw Charizard got 2 epic ones, I was like, okay, I'm sold now. Take my money. And then when Alolan forms were introduced, I was like, I don't like this. When I saw Ultra Beasts introduced, I do not like this at all. No, they don't look like Pokemon. And then I used them all in battle. I was like,
aren't, but they kind of are.
Yeah, and I was just like, after I used them in battle, and I was like, I love these. I love all these characters, and I love all these new Pokemon, and like, there's so many great characters in this series. I will say, I think the story of Sun and Moon was better than Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon's overall. Mostly because of that sick Lucamine fusion battle. Holy crap!
I really
think that was so
I really
epic.
think a better version
fantastic.
would have incorporated both stories. Like, I'd rather see that, and I want to see Ultra Necrozma in the same game.
Yeah, because Ultra Necrozma was such a sick battle, but I was just like, I was mostly just scared. I wasn't even in awe like I was Lucamine. I was just like, oh, this is so cool, dude. I was sitting there, my jaw just dropped. I was sitting there like, yo, this is so sick. This has never happened. Like, there were so many firsts. We had parallel universes. We had Alolan Pokemon. We had people fusing with Pokemon. It was just such a big, grand, different story in Moon. And then Ultra Sun sort of added on to that. Like, I like Ultra Sun more for the post-game stuff, because you have the ultra wormholes. You're not just going to an area that's already in the game to battle an ultra beast that's there. You're going to their world and hunting them down and battling them, and then you also can find every single legendary ever through these wormholes, except for the mythicals and version exclusives. But it's just, and of course, for me being a pseudo shiny hunter, that's awesome too, because I've already shiny hunted a bunch of the legendaries and ultra beasts, because ultra beasts were shiny locked in Sun and Moon. So I was like, holy cow, I can get some of these shiny. So that's hype. I already got shiny Buzzwole and Blacephalon, and I'm gonna try and get. My friend said he would let me borrow it for Pheromosa, so I'll try and get shiny Pheromosa because black yoga pants. Looks cool. I love the gradient from black to gray to white. I love that shiny. Pheromosa is a great Pokemon anyway. But there's just, if you can't tell, I'm very, very passionate about Pokemon. I love the series.
Me too.
And just, I love how it introduced something so different. It's kind of like what you said with Let's Go. I don't want this to be the norm. Like, it was just such a grand scale. Like, I love the story aspects. The characters were great.
Which part don't you want to be the norm?
Really just the catching for Let's Go, but I would say probably just the randomness of Gen 7. Just it's like you're going through wormholes and there's just like it's cool for that game and the lore of that game and Z moves and all that stuff, because then in Ultra Sun Ultra Moon it explains like, oh, the Z crystals come from Necrozma, the power comes from Necrozma opening the wormholes in his aura and stuff. So that, like, I like how Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon fleshes out Sun and Moon more, and it's kind of like a 2.0 of that. But I still like the story more of Sun and Moon. But they're just both such great games. So if I had to pick Moon and Ultra Sun, because those were the two games I played of the series. But obviously I'm a huge Pokemon fan. I'm rambling and taking up my time at this point. But there's just so many just great. I love Guzma. Guzma's just such a cool character, man. And he's not just a bad guy bent on destroying the world like Getsis or Cyrus or anybody. He's just a thug who was bullied, and now he's lashing back out at the world. And then you got Lucamine, who's cray-cray because her husband went missing a couple years back.
Did they actually explain that?
Moan, her husband, is actually the guy that heads the Pokepelago.
Yeah, but I don't remember where in the story they actually said that.
You actually have to go back to Aether Paradise. I haven't done it yet, but you go back to Aether Paradise, talk to Lucamine, and Moan shows up, and like he doesn't know her, but she knows him, and it's just like, from what I've heard, it's just like he shows up, but he doesn't remember any of them. It's weird. It's like kind of like what happened to Annabelle in the first game with Looker. Like, she lost her memory and stuff because she's a faller. It's really complicated, and I was like, man, this is not a story game. Yeah. The story was definitely way different this time around, and I love that. But like, again, I want it to be more about save the day and all that. I mean, it was just such an epic, grand
gotta catch them
saga
all
in this. Yeah. It's just, there were so many great new Pokemon too. Minior, Oricorio, Drampa. I even like Crabominable to an extent. The starters. It's just all the legendary. It's just such a good game, dude. I love it so much. It's just so many. You can tell I'm just a fanboy when it comes to Pokemon, and I can't wait for 2019 because, holy cow, that game's coming. I can't
wait for that either.
That will be probably my top game of 2019. Not gonna lie.
I want to see going back to Alola, where they've established gyms, because there's just something about looking at the badges from every region that's so nice. It's like there's no badges for Alola.
Yeah,
honestly, that was one thing that I didn't like at first either. I was like, oh, no gyms, this is heresy. And as I went on, I was like, you know what?
Exactly.
They're actually kind of cool, and some of the challenges were actually really tough. Like that Araquanid battle where Alomomola is sitting there teaming it, healing it the whole time. It's just like, why don't you just die?
Yeah, in the first one, it wasn't even Araquanid. It's just
Wishy-washy.
They set you up to think it was Wishy-Washy, and then Araquanid came in, and you're like, what?
And Alola and Marowak and all, like, some of them were actually challenging. I was like, man, these are tough. I like these. The Kamo I absolutely obliterated with my Rabombi because it's so adorable yet so powerful. I love that thing. But just such a great game.
Isn't that one of your favorite Pokemon?
Of Gen 7, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, she's probably my top 50 probably. I love Rabombi. It's so cute and fluffy, and I love it. And it's just such a beast, man. It's like this little fairy bug, and it's like 8 inches tall. But it's like, I will slaughter dragons if you give me the chance. I will straight up dazzle them in the face if you give me the chance, Master. Please. Here, have a pollen puff. It's just... yeah, there's just so many great Pokemon from Gen 7. And I hated when people ragged on it because it was so different. And like I said, I'm such a stickler against change. But it was such a great... I loved being able to prove myself wrong with it being so different. Kind of like with, me and Shantae in Smash. Not like 3 years ago, I'd be like, oh, I don't want her in Smash. But then now it's like, oh, I want her in Smash. Because now I see what I was missing. And now Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is like, man, this was such a grand scale game. And there's so much post-game content. It's just like, Where's this been all my life? It's just such a great game. I know I'm taking up time. Let's move on to number one, unless you guys have something else to say.
I was gonna say I like that game. There was one thing that I didn't like, and that was, or one of the things I didn't like was that I was expecting more from the story. I thought the Ultra Beasts were gonna be somehow connected to certain people because they were kind of started looking very similar. Like Nihilego looked a lot like Lily, so I thought it was gonna be some kind of like Nihilego was disguised as a human or something.
Alternate.
Yeah, and then people were suspecting, what was it, the electric one, circuitry or something? Circuitry looked kind of like Guzma, and certain characters kind of resembled a little bit the Ultra Beasts, so I really thought that being interdimensional Pokemon, that maybe they were more intelligent in the sense that they could disguise themselves as humans. And I really thought they were going with this crazy idea. And I was so disappointed that that wasn't the case. But yeah, I would like to see more Ultra Beasts, but not the story focusing on it. Like, it's something that's cool. Like, if they had post-game content in the next gen that introduced like 1 or 2 new Ultra Beasts, be like, okay, that's cool. But they don't need to really focus on it like they did. So anyway, before we get on to our number ones, I want to talk about some honorable mentions. So, honorable mentions! So on my honorable mentions, I have a few games here, and by few, I think there's 7 on here.
Okay.
I have Dragon Ball FighterZ, which was a lot of fun. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, which I love Hyrule Warriors. That's a game that keeps on giving. I haven't played it in a while, but I'm always itching to play it. And I've played that game 3 times. One for the Wii U, twice, the second time on the 3DS, and the third time I played it again on the Switch, and it was so good.
Wow, so you triple dipped.
Yeah, I triple dipped, and I loved it. Sonic Mania Plus, which I played Sonic Mania when it came out. Sonic Mania Plus, I only played a little bit of it. So I regret not playing more, but so much fun. Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2, I bought them, but I didn't play them because I already played the Mega Man Anniversary Collection, and I just didn't get around to playing them again, the games, but I had to mention it because Mega Man games are so much fun. Super Mario Odyssey, like I mentioned, it was the first Switch game I played in the beginning of the year, and it was a lot of fun, but part of it got a little tiresome at times. Like, I really feel like the worlds were too big. Something I liked about Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie and 2 are that the worlds weren't as big, so they were much easier to traverse. And I feel like Super Mario Odyssey and Yooka-Laylee suffered from a similar thing where the worlds were too big. Except,
was it bigger than Breath of the Wild?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna say, were the worlds too big or were the moons too small? Like, were they too easy to get? That's the question I have.
Some of those moons were were really hard to get because they were they were difficult to know where to go. I actually winded up. I would try to do whatever I could do and then beat the story in that world. And when it was time to move on to our next world or city or region or whatever you call them, then before I moved on, I would pull out a player's guide and just look at, okay, where are the rest of the moons? Because I couldn't find them. And I just did not want to waste any more time looking for them. So I pretty much got all the moons in that game minus... There was... the only moon I didn't get was the last ultimate one on the final challenge, which just...
Oh, the dark side of the moon?
It was like the dark...
Yeah,
like the darker
side
of the moon.
Yeah.
And
That's
I kept getting really far in that, and I kept the part I kept dying at was... There's this one part where you use the bird thing to like poke into the wall, but it was this moving wall, so it was supposed to like bring you up, and then you were supposed to switch onto the next one. And I don't know if it was the angle or what, but I just kept missing it and falling to my death. And I did that maybe 2 or 3 times, and it took so long to get up to that point that I was just like, I'm done. I was like, that was the last thing I had to do in that game. And so when I couldn't do it, I was like, well, I'm done with the game. So that's the only moon I couldn't get, and it was disappointing. I actually tried, like, I was so angry at the fact that I couldn't pass it that I tried to do the glitch, but they already patched it out. There's like a glitch where you use the frog and you kind of, I think, jump in or jump out of it at a certain point so that you can actually swim across, like, the air. So you can pretty much swim to where the second pipe is that lets you out to the building where the moon is. But they patched that out, and I was like, I didn't care about cheating for that because I was just so frustrated. I got so far, though. But anyway, and I think there was one more on my... Oh, Mega Man 11. Mega Man 11 was a lot of fun. It brought back Mega Man, and I'm so excited to see what else they have in store for Mega Man. It just didn't make my top 5, but it would have made my top 10.
Okay.
Do you guys have any honorable mentions?
I do.
Okay.
Surprisingly, Splatoon 2 is on my honorable mentions list. Primarily, yes, I know. Heresy. Yeah. It's because I mostly played it last year, so I just didn't feel like I should include it.
Okay.
The caveat to that is Octo Expansion came out this year, which was the best single player campaign that mode has. I mean, that game series has. It was so cool. I love that aesthetic. It was a great single player mode. But yeah, Splatoon 2 I mostly played last year, so I didn't include it for 2018. And then here's another treasonous pick. Shantae Half Genie Hero Ultimate Edition is in my honorable mentions. And the reason it's not in my top 5 is because I played Half Genie Hero before, and I loved it. Of course, Shantae was my whole start on YouTube, so I have to include her to some capacity. I love the DLC editions, like Friends to the End and all that. And my favorite part about getting the Ultimate Edition was the art book that came with it, which was really cool. And it almost like teaches you how to draw some of the characters. So I really, really like that, and I thought that was in and of itself worth the purchase.
I should have put that on my honorable mentions. I forgot. It came out this year, but
it did. Yeah.
Now, where can you find the Ultimate Edition?
In the store, I guess, if they still have it.
Would you find it at GameStop or?
I think I got it at GameStop, or I might have gotten it at Amazon. One of the two. I don't remember.
I'll have to check because I want to get that. I want to get Ultimate Edition so the Ultimate Edition is the one with the art book and all the DLC and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seriously, because I want to get that physical too.
Well, I think it's Day 1 Edition. It's called. No, there's an Ultimate Edition, but I think there was a Day 1 edition of the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, it came with all those bonuses, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
because Ultimate Edition didn't come with all that stuff, but the Day 1
you're
edition.
Right. It's a Day 1 edition. That's what I got.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a good thing I realized that to clarify it. But yeah,
Ultimate Edition, regular Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, Ultimate Edition was just a regular game that I think came with all the DLC, but the Day 1 edition of the Ultimate Edition was basically the collector's edition version of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it came with the soundtrack and the art book and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then also honorable mentions, I have Kirby Star Allies. It was just way too short. It just didn't match up with my time value philosophy, so I just didn't feel like I got all the $60 worth out of the game. But it was great fun. I played a lot with my girlfriend. I love the nostalgic callbacks to like previous Kirby games, like Crystal Shards, which is my favorite Kirby game. What else is on here? Mario Tennis Aces I have on here. I thought it had the best tennis gameplay of any Mario Tennis game, but the story mode was a skeleton, and the game itself was a skeleton in terms of just not having any content. Although I do think the later things they've revealed since, with like the co-op missions and everything, are great, and I don't know why they didn't have that from the start. So, but I think they're doing things to save the game from mediocrity. But it's still in my honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Pauline's playable, so hey.
Who is?
Yes.
Pauline.
Pauline. Yeah, Pauline. If she came out if she was out when the game came out, that would be my number 1 game. No, I'm just kidding.
She's gorgeous. I ain't lying, dude. She is pretty.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. And before we get on a tangent there, my last my last honorable mention, oddly enough, is old school RuneScape, because I played RuneScape so much as a kid, and the fact that it's free to play, and I can play it on my phone, I can play it on my tablet. I always wanted that game to be portable, and it's actually super fun. So I have old school RuneScape on my honorable mentions as well.
Nice.
Okay.
And Alpha, did you have honorable mentions?
Well, I do have like two, because like I said, I don't play a lot of new games a lot. I play a lot of Steam games, and this year I played a few, and one of them is called "You Have to Win the Game," and it's like really difficult. It's like really precise, but it's basically you have to win the game. You have to figure out, where everything is at. You have to collect all the things and get 100%, and there's different achievements, and it's really tough. But once you get I'm serious, like the jumps are so precise. But I couldn't touch the broadside of a barn now if I tried, because I've been out of it for months. But when I played it, I got all but one achievement. One of them is called 9 Lives mode. You play as a cat and you have exactly 9 lives, and that's way easier said than done, because there's a lot in that game that can kill you. But I ended up winning it with 4 lives left, and I was just like, yes. I was just bragging rights for myself. I even screenshotted it like I did it. But that's a fun game, and I enjoyed that. There's actually a lot of surprisingly fun games on Steam, I have to say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Do you have
like my
a
little
Mac or PC?
PC/laptop.
Okay, there was a game I wanted to play on Steam, because it's basically there's a physical card game called Boss Monster, and I tried to play it on Steam, but it wasn't compatible with the Mac. So I would say check that out if you have the chance, because I think it's compatible on PC.
Okay. But I could throw Crash in there, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, as an honorable mention, even though I really don't like the game right now because it's really, really hard. I mean, it's it's not just hard, it's frustratingly hard and precise. Like, holy cow, 1 life per hit, and it's just like, what the heck? I'm dead already. It's just, I had to put it down because I played about 5 levels, and I was like, this is really tough. I'm going to come back to it later, but it's just, and I haven't played Ocarina of Time yet, so I'm sure that's going to be great. But looking forward to playing that, because I've heard nothing but praise from you and Choctopus and a bunch of other people on YouTube that it's amazing.
Oh, actually,
Chris, what system do you have it for? Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to ask what system you have it for.
It's the HD remake on the 3DS.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
I've heard as soon as I bought it, I heard nothing but like good things. Like I watched some of Choctopus's videos because he's been doing Smash stuff, and he did like a community thing, and it was like, I love Ocarina of Time, it's its anniversary stuff. I was like, I have seen nothing but praise for this game since I bought it. He said it is one of the best games you will ever play, and I was like, okay, I'm looking forward to this. So Alpha, shout out to Choctopus, he's cool. So.
Yeah, Alpha told me that he wanted to start with Majora's Mask, Ryan. I was like, no, you got to start with Ocarina.
Yes. Yeah. You'll be too frustrated, I think, if you start with Majora's Mask, but
it's
Ocarina. Bingo.
Yeah, not to
now that is they have a 3D remake for that on the 3DS, right?
Yeah. Not
Majora's
HD remakes, but just remakes.
Okay.
A lot of people who I guess there are a lot of people who prefer the N64 version, but honestly, I think especially for a newcomer, the 3DS version is probably your best bet, because it's a lot less not knowing where to go because they have there's something, and I don't want to go into a tangent because we're talking about our top games, but basically they have something in the N64 games called the Bomber's Notebook, where you kind of like you keep track of certain events, but and I don't remember how they did it in the old one, but in the 3DS one they made it a lot better, and you could set alarms to remind you, hey, I got to do this event. So it's a lot easier to keep track of your time in Majora's Mask, and time is something that you need in this game.
Yeah, from what I've heard. Yeah.
And it's just a lot newcomer friendly, a lot more user friendly.
Okay.
So I think that
that sounds good for me.
Yeah. So for someone who's never played Zelda, especially who hasn't played Ocarina of Time, I would say if you have the ability to start with Majora's Mask 3D as your first Majora's Mask experience, I would pick that.
Okay.
But anyway,
Because I'm the kind of guy, I know I'm a wuss and a loser for saying it, but if a game frustrates me, I don't enjoy it really at all. That's kind of how I am, like I said, with Crash. Just like,
That's
if I
fair,
can't
yeah.
have fun playing a game because it's frustrating me, I'm like,
yeah.
And that's kind of how it was with
Well,
you
that
have
was
to
like-
win the game, but once I learned it, I was like, oh, this is
I
pretty
think
cool.
they actually made a couple of things easier in Majora's Mask 3D. And just like a couple of things, I think they made a few things a little bit more straightforward, which personally I think was for the better, but a lot of people didn't like that, and I don't know, whatever. But there were two other games I wanted to mention on my honorable mentions. Mega Man X Collection, which I didn't even buy, but I've played the old collection on the PS2, and it was great. And I also wanted to mention Dark Souls Remastered, which I didn't get, but I've played the Dark Souls games and I love them. And I asked for it for Christmas, cause when my sister was like, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, well, things for my new apartment, but I also want Dark Souls Remastered. So I didn't,
necessities.
I didn't play it, but,
necessities.
I didn't play it, but I've played Dark Souls, so I had to throw that up there. But anyway, I'm ready to go on to the number one. Are you?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh man.
Let's do it.
Number one. So my number one pick, which I was not sure if I wanted to put my number one, but ultimately decided to put my number one, was Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When you said ultimately, I was like, he's got Smash.
I didn't even mean to do that, but when I said ultimately, I was like, but yeah, this game is great, but I never finished it, and I haven't really been playing it recently because I've been busy. But I still have to unlock everyone, and basically everything that Ryan was saying. And I love this game, and I picked it on my number. I put on my number one because I think I'm gonna wind up getting more into it because it's a game that you're just gonna keep playing. And that's kind of why I put it as my top so soon. But when I was going through my top 5 list, there was a point where I was like, I don't even know if this is gonna be in my top 5 because I haven't been playing it. But then I was like, maybe it'll be my number 3 or 2. And then in the end, I was just like, I'll just put it as number 1. But I'm excited to see what the DLC brings.
Yes.
Regardless if Shantae gets in or not, I'm still excited. But I'm just so disappointed she's not in because I feel like she would be a perfect addition. And I know there are people who are like, no, Shantae would not be a good addition. But I'm like, really?
You know those people.
Yeah. There was some... Alpha, I don't know if it was your video or Papagino's video or I think it was Papagino's video that I said, the best case DLC scenario, the best case scenario for the remaining DLC for the GG Gaming crew is Shantae, Banjo-Kazooie, Gino, and Sora. And someone was like, no Shantae, no Gino. I was like, I didn't say the best case scenario for whatever their name was.
Like, did I mention your name, sir? Unnamed person.
But I was
Internet
like,
95.
But I was like, how come? Like, you don't like them, or I don't know. I think that they would be.
Yeah.
I think all 4 of those characters would be great additions to the series. They would play uniquely, and I think the people who usually don't want those characters are the ones who don't know anything about those characters.
Exactly.
And I really don't know anything about.
They're all 4 really big in the Smash community. I don't know what people are like. I don't want them. They're not Slime or Steve. I just
like
sorry to
the
Steve and
other
Slime fans.
mentions that I see are characters who I wouldn't mind being in as well, but the other big names have already kind of been deconfirmed if assist trophies are deconfirming characters. But
I still think they do. I don't think any assist trophy stands a ghost of a chance unless the off chance they add Waluigi, but I don't see that happen. If anyone does, it's him, because I don't think Isaac, Skull Kid, Springman, any of them will get added. I don't see it happening.
Surprised.
Even Waluigi, I just don't see it happening at this point.
I will close my YouTube account if an assist trophy becomes a playable character.
Yeah.
I make that promise.
I'm still actually disappointed in Joker because I don't know anything about Persona. So to me, I'm just like, okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it introduces you to the Persona series, it could be a win.
Maybe. But
I'm not
against using a character that I don't know anything about, but I'm obviously going to feel more inclined to use a character I'm attached to.
Sure.
And I was looking at, like, apparently there are some rumored leaks going around about a specific Dragon Quest character being the next character be announced, I think Eldrick or something. And I was disappointed to hear that too, because I've never played Dragon Quest, and I just feel like there are better characters.
Oh man,
Sora
and Gino, like,
yeah.
and I've never played Super Mario RPG. I have no connection to Gino, but he just seems like a more fitting character and fun. And I don't understand, because Sakurai wanted Gino in, so like, why did he?
But Square might not. That's the problem. Square's so tight-fisted on everything. I hate it.
I don't know why. Like,
because they have so many great characters and so much great music, and they give us 2 songs and 2 Cloud Spirits, literally both his alts.
I just don't understand. Like,
it's frustrating. Well, I mean, look how generous Konami and Sega and Capcom are being, and then you got them over here being just obnoxious jerks about it. Like, you only get Cloud, you only get 2 songs, that's it, bye-bye. And also you get a Dragon Quest character like 2 people are asking for.
That's why I don't think Cloud's going to make it into a future Smash game.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's a miracle he made it in this one.
Yeah.
It really is.
They even said that he was, like, the last one to get back in. So I'm just like, just port the game going forward. Make it the same game and you add new content. Like, I don't care if it's a port. Like, I don't care. I would not have
Ultimate Supreme!
I would not have cared if this game was a port. Like, people were saying, oh, it's a port. And I was like, good. That means we'll get everybody back. Like, there are people who don't want to be a port. And I'm like, then you're going to lose characters if it's not a port. So, but anyway, that's the second time we were talking about Smash. I have a feeling we're going to talk about it again. But Ryan, what is your number 1?
Tell us, Ryan.
Oh, my number 1. So, well, before I reveal the name, there was this game called Final Fantasy Tactics Advance for the Game Boy Advance. Came out in 2003, and it's probably my favorite game of all time. Other than its sequel, no other game really like scratched the itch that I had when I played Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. It was just an amazing, amazing game. And 5 things that it had that basically embody for me the perfect game: had an engaging plot, memorable characters, deep gameplay with great customization, awesome soundtrack, and a length that basically has ridiculously great value. So this game, my number 1 game...
Oh, you didn't say it yet. Okay.
No. This game, my number 1 game, brought all of that back to me in spades, down to the art style and the same developer, which we were just talking about being Square Enix. Do you guys know what I'm about to say?
No. Actually, I don't.
It's Octopath Traveler.
Oh,
okay.
Number 1 game.
I forgot about that game.
And yeah, it had everything to me that all combined makes the perfect game. It had not only an engaging plot, but it had 8 engaging plots that all had just a great amount of energy poured into each character's background, their backstory, and how their story develops, and how it all connects. It's just only something that Square Enix could do. The characters were awesome. I thought the voice acting was phenomenal. And Christina V did Ophelia, she did an awesome job.
Nice.
Ophelia is my favorite character. Yeah, so the same voice actress as Shantae did a character in Octopath Traveler. So I thought the characters were great. They all had unique little personality quirks and things that kind of recurred throughout the story. The gameplay was so well. It's not. I don't want to say unique, but it had unique elements to it where you had to utilize certain weapon classes against certain enemies, and you got to like discover what certain enemies were weak against as you played. And it was just so cool, the amount of customization that you had by choosing not only primary skills, but then you could also choose like a secondary job for different characters, and arrange your team of 4 around like what kind of boss you were fighting or what kind of people you were trying to level up. The soundtrack is absolutely incredible. I listen to it for fun. I listen to certain songs to go to sleep. I listen to certain songs to pump me up at the gym. It basically had like it ran the gamut of like every kind of song that you could ask for in a game, and it just is so well done. The boss battle music is the best probably the best boss battle music I've ever heard in my life. And I actually I don't know if you guys know, I'm a dungeon master for a Dungeons and Dragons group, but I now use Octopath Traveler music exclusively for our D&D sessions because it's so good. And then also I put in 75 plus hours into the game, and I'm still not beaten the true final boss yet. It's just everything I've always wanted in the game since Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, and I couldn't be happier with it. It's absolutely incredible.
Cool. Nice. I'd totally be down to playing D&D. I've never played it before.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you'd love it, man. It's so fun.
Can we do like a GG Gaming D&D night and stream it?
Heck
That'd be
yeah.
awesome.
Heck yeah.
How many people do we need for that?
I mean, 3 is enough.
So you
honestly.
can do it online?
Well, I think it's just it's like we could do it over the mics, like we're doing the podcast, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be easy, but you could absolutely do that.
Okay. I mean, we would just have to trust in the person who's using the dice.
I'm interested now, but I'm confused.
Yeah, I've never played it before, but I know it's like role-playing, like the Dungeon Master says, like
an archer or an elf or a mage or something.
Yeah, like you make your character, and then if Ryan's a Dungeon Master, he'd be like, and then you guys are walking into this dungeon, and it's, these are on the walls, and blah, 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 and you encounter this monster, and it's like, okay, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do, and then, like, if we try to do an attack, we have to roll a die to see if it hits or something.
Exactly.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
And coming attractions, I'm actually going to be, now that Smash is out and the speculation scene outside of DLC is kind of over, I'm going to be transitioning my channel to exclusively D&D content. So if people are interested in learning more about Dungeons and Dragons or doing like Dungeon Mastery, I'm going to have like tips and stuff for that. But I'd be so down for that, guys. I think it's totally doable because it's basically like Drew was saying, like you guys make decisions and whoever the dungeon master is, if it's me, like I tell you kind of what the result of those actions are, and you explore different lands and dungeons and fight different monsters.
Yeah.
And it's
I don't know
super fun.
how we would do it. We could maybe set it up so that there's actually a video feed and we can stream it onto the channel. I don't know. That's something we could figure out going forward. But
I think the most that would be awesome. I think the most low tech like thing would be like I send a map or something of the land that you're currently in, and we just kind of like show that on the screen.
Mm-hmm. And we would have to figure out with you how to make. I would love to do kind of like a unique version of it where maybe our characters have a bit more video game centric stuff or something like that. And you can figure out how to balance.
Kind of like a spirits mode Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Oh my gosh!
And
that'd be so sick.
And you could figure out how to balance it for us.
I love that.
Yeah, and then like we can do that, and people could tune in and comment and stuff. So
I love that idea.
Cool.
You'd be like, guys, how should I fight this monster and see what
you guys know how to play? What should I do?
Yeah. But yeah, that anybody listening, comment down below if that's something you'd be interested in, and any suggestions you have for us tackling something like that. I'm thinking that's something we can always live stream, do a video feed. I could use OBS so that I could arrange all of our faces on it. I guess if Ryan's the dungeon master, his camera will be in the center or something like that. Well, we would figure out something unique. But anyway,
love it.
That's something.
Before we move on to mine, I do have to ask Ryan. Now you got me curious. So I know you said you're doing D&D stuff now on your channel. So you're done with Smash Shantae stuff for now?
For now, yeah. I think I might go back into it if there seems to be some some DLC clues pointing her way, or something like that. But I feel like there's a lot. You've been doing an awesome job covering that, so I feel like I'll move on to some Dungeons and Dragons stuff to switch things up.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah, then maybe we could pick a day during the week where we could do that. So, like, we'll have the podcast that we record on Tuesdays. It is Tuesday right now, people. Hopefully this will go up tonight. But so we would record on Tuesdays, and we'd pick a day in the week where we could do Dungeons and Dragons live. And I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I'm definitely interested in that.
Mm-hmm. I definitely couldn't do D&D every week or something like that, because I know that takes a while.
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know if it's something that we would continue in the next episode, or if we can actually complete a whole playthrough in one sitting. Like, how many hours do you think it takes?
It totally depends on what you'd want out of it. And sorry I didn't mean to derail the conversation, but I'm super excited about it. But it's basically what you want out of it. It could be a one-shot campaign where it's anything from 2 to 3 hours, or it could be a longer campaign where you have a couple sessions of that length, something like that.
I wouldn't mind doing like in the beginning, maybe we do try to complete one in one episode, and then we could try again in like a few weeks or whenever everybody wants to organize it. Yeah, and then maybe once we get a good schedule going with it, we can do a continuous one and like tackle that like once a month or something. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But I'm really excited to try that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back on topic. Alpha, what is your number one?
Just like you, Drew, it is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This game had me so hyped for so long, and I gotta admit, after the November 1st, the hype kind of died down, and I was just kind of like, I was bummed because Shantae wasn't in. I was bummed because it was just like, I mean, I was happy about like Piranha Plant and everybody being here, and that we got a story mode with cut scenes and stuff. I was just like, but still. I was still licking my wounds that she wasn't in the game. At least she is a spirit, and now that I have her and Risky Boots a spirit, it's so cool. I have them both a lot in my arsenal.
Yeah, I missed out on Shantae. She appeared in the shop, and then I think I lost to her. And I was so frustrated.
I fought her. I was like, I am not losing to you.
That's what I said, and then I lost.
Everything I have.
I used the spacer power up stuff. I was like, I am not losing.
Slow down.
I actually got Risky before Shantae, but it was cool. But when I remember after the November 1st, the hype kind of died down because it's like, okay, we know everybody. And then right before I got the game, I was just like, dude, I can't wait to get this game. And once I finally got down and started playing it and like really learned some of the characters, like everybody feels so new. Like
everybody is new.
Feels so new. I love Ganondorf now. Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited to unlock him and use him.
So good. Dude, I'm not even kidding. I had to fight this dude 4 freaking times. He's so good.
They are so difficult.
Did you guys do the Street Fighter thing in the Spirit?
Oh, no. I
Okay, because the last battle is almost impossible in there.
No spoilers, please.
Yeah,
Light.
Yeah, I only. Basically,
Sorry,
no spoilers, but the final battle in that area is so hard, and I was really struggling to do it, and I was reading online, and someone was like, "Oh, just be Kirby and spit the character off the edge," and I tried that, and it wasn't working, and then all of a sudden something happened where the character kind of like killed himself in an attempt to kill me, and I was like, oh my god, because like I was struggling for like a half hour at this, and then they just killed themselves, and I was like, oh my god. I was like,
a Legend class did that to me. It was Calamity Ganon. You have to fight a giant Ganondorf, and like he's super powerful.
Wow.
And like he tried to recover and end up killing himself. I was just like, I didn't have to do anything. Okay.
Yeah, I was so happy. But, I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to do that again.
Yeah, I know, right? But dude, there's just everyone is here. I love that. I unlocked everybody the Saturday after it came out.
Dang.
And I think. Yeah, it was Saturday. It was late Saturday. My brother and I grinded some characters. But it's just such classic mode, like you said, is just so streamlined, and some of the final battles, like I hate that I had it ruined because someone had to put it in their thumbnail, but I love that Marks is a final boss in classic mode for Kirby, and he's such a
Is a character? Is a 3D model?
he's the boss battle like Giga Bowser or Breath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's so cool, dude.
Yeah,
I
didn't look up different bosses in the game, so
Spoiler.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you guys knew it. I'm sorry.
I did not know that.
But
That is
someone
really-
spoiled it. Apparently, he's Inkling's final boss too. Duck Hunt has Rathalos. I was like, okay,
Why?
but
that's
yeah.
cool.
But in classic mode,
No
all
more,
the characters
no more
in there-
spoilers, please.
No, I'm sorry. That's the only. If there's other bosses I don't know of, I know Master Hand, Crazy Hand, Giga Bowser, and I already ruined Marks. So there's a few others. And everybody knows about Rathalos.
We'll leave it
Well,
there.
everybody knows Rathalos and Dracula because
And
they
Dracula, yeah.
were already confirmed. But
Yeah.
outside of all those we said, I don't know who the rest are.
So Master and Crazy Hand are obvious too. I
Yeah.
mean, but
Yeah,
I'll tell you this:
I'd be
they're
surprised
different
if they
this time
weren't
around.
in. They're difficult.
They're different.
Oh, okay.
But I like Spirits, but I don't like World of Light as much. I know that's weird to say, but
Yeah.
Spirits mode, dude, the Spirits board, it's just like you can grind so many spirits, and like it's like how long have I been? 3 hours. It's just there's so many. There's like you said, Ryan, the characters are so well related in their battle. Like I remember trying to unlock the Miltank spirit, and Jigglypuff only uses rollout. I was like, I get that reference. Wait, it's Miltank.
I remember
Yeah, and I was
that.
just like, there's
Yes.
so many great
That's-
references. I was like, I love this. And like,
Yeah.
obviously, I don't get all of them because I don't know every Nintendo and third-party character. But
That's
just
one of the
some
ones
of
where I laughed. I just like smiled so big.
yeah, I was just like, I love this. And I still have, I fought Rambi, and it was Donkey Kong with like instant ram, and I lost to him, and I hate it because
What's
I want
instant
Rambi.
RAM?
He like, I mean, dash in what is it called?
Like a
Dash
dash attack,
damage.
or-
Yeah, he like when he dashes, impact dash. When he
Impact dash.
dashes,
That's
it does
it.
damage. But yeah, like there's just so many cool ways they incorporated the spirits, and I was like, I actually like this
Yeah.
a lot. And I
Yes,
only don't like
indeed.
spirits right now. I mean, World of Light right now because I'm not very far at all. I just unlocked Duck Hunt, so I'm happy about that. But and one thing I learned playing World of Light really fast, Kirby is really, really good in this game. I never knew he had a different dash in Melee until I was dashing with him. I was like, wait, he doesn't do the spin thing now? And he clothed himself in fire. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, I
like
was
that.
sucking with Kirby and Mario, and then I was using Link for a little bit after I unlocked him, and I wasn't doing too good with him either. I felt like the game was a little bit too floaty. Maybe I'm just not used to it yet. And then
It definitely
Lucario
takes-
was floaty,
yeah.
and then I unlocked
Lucario is
Bowser,
floaty, yeah.
and I've been using Bowser because he's just good to use
Oh,
against
that side
computers.
smash.
He's
the
just good to
side
use
smash.
against computers. I just keep like killing everyone with side smash.
That's the thing with Ganondorf and spirit battles. You just swing your sword and they're dead. Just swing dead, swing dead, and just like I'll just put a giant spirit, like a spirit that makes me giant, and just swing the sword and they're gone. And it's like, okay, time to shoot the spirit. But to Ganon, Ganon is just so good at grinding spirits. Holy cow! If you want to unlock some spirits, get Ganon. I already have like 800 because of this dude. So yeah, he's
Instead
good.
of Bowser.
I think I use Bowser a little bit. I use Ice Climbers, Bowser, Mario, Inkling. But yeah, the newcomers, all of them were so, like, I didn't think I'd like Inkling that much. Holy cow, they're so fun.
Yeah,
And
Inkling
Cineroar
is
is
fun.
actually really hard to use. King
I'm
K.
not
Rool
good
is
at it.
fun. Ridley I have not used a whole lot, but when I did, I'm not very good with him.
Mhm.
Chrom is good. Dark Samus plays just like Samus, and I'm not good with Samus. So,
I'm excited
Ken
to
is
use
fun.
Dark Samus because I don't like Samus's dodge.
yeah. But Dark Samus does play quite a bit similar to her, but she does have some notable differences.
Mhm.
Simon Richter, I was surprised. I actually liked their moveset very,
Oh, I suck
very
at them.
much.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
I'm
They're
so
tough to
bad at
use.
them.
They're tough to use, but they got so much projectile game, dude. And
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
out of all the newcomers, I would say King K. Rool is absolutely my
I
favorite.
love using him.
Love K. Rool.
I've only
dude.
tried him like once, and I was like, he is awesome.
Yes, he's just so big and strong, and just the projectiles. Just I love. He's just and just yeah.
I want
But
to.
I would have to say second would probably be Inkling. I do like Inkling a lot.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't use them a
Inkling's
lot.
my favorite newcomer for sure.
Yeah, obviously biased.
Obviously.
But I'm just saying, Inkling Girl is the only Inkling for me. Like, Orange Inkling Girl is the best Inkling
feel
of
like
all.
that's the
You can have all
iconic
your
one.
alt costumes, but man, I love that design.
This girl.
Plus,
I would
I
like-
love orange. Orange is my favorite color. So
I would like to see Octoling as an Echo.
yeah. If they ever decide to just throw in
I
Octoling,
hope they throw in Echo Fighters in whether packs or I would love to see an Echo Fighter pack where they're cheaper.
yeah,
Yeah.
which they're kind of to an extent deconfirmed, quote unquote deconfirmed, because they're a costume, just like Inkling was in Smash Bros.
Right.
But
Yeah, but I mean,
and so are
there are
Captain
costumes.
Falcon,
Yeah,
Link, all those characters. I was
yeah.
like, there's so many characters that are costumes. I was like, dude, there's a Captain Falcon and all these other characters.
think
Like,
there's
they
a
have
King K.
full
Rool
body
one,
costumes.
too,
Dude,
still.
there's a Yarn Yoshi costume and it's so cute. I'm
the
in
Yarn-
right now. Yeah. And KK Slider and King K. Rool. It's just, such a good game. I love it. There's like the only thing I really don't like about it is that World of Light is not as whoa as I thought it would be.
I
And I
think
haven't
that-
had any cuts yet if there are any more.
I think
so
it would have been a little bit better if there were less spirits to fight. Just
yeah,
because
if
I feel like I can't move around too easily.
yeah, you have to fight like 10 spirits to get one character at least. So it's
Yeah.
just
Although if you have the right setup, the fights can go by in like 10 seconds.
oh yeah. And that's one thing I do like about World of Light over the Spirit board is that if you lose, you can rematch them right then and there.
Yeah.
So and something else that has me excited for the future of Ultimate is that they have these spirit like the Spectacled Spirits event where you get extra coins if you defeat a spirit with spectacles, like Cereza or that shrimp
Oh
dude.
yeah, that one.
Or James McLeod. James McLeod, dude, he'll give you like 1,500 coins if you beat him.
I have a question
Oh.
about that. The event going on, are they exclusive to the event or can you still get them?
No, you can get them anytime. It's just
Oh,
during
okay.
that period of time you get more money for fighting.
Oh,
the
I didn't know that.
battle.
That's great.
Yeah, but I think it's over now. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it ended yesterday.
Yeah, because I was fighting a few and I was like, wait, I'm not getting any more money. But
I got a question. I remember reading, I saw that there was a video that was gonna say it, but I did not watch it because I just didn't get around to it. But there's talk about a certain spirit being overpowered, and I think it's the polar bear from Ice Climbers or something.
I've heard that.
and I just
but
don't know why because I don't know what it does. So, have either of you know anything about it?
I have not heard about that.
I've seen a thumbnail of it and I was like, the polar bear, because I already have a super slow, a slow super armor, spirit, and it killed Ganondorf. Like he got off the edge and because Ganondorf's recovery is crap anyway, and so it really didn't help because it literally like thirds your running speed and air speed and everything. And so once you get off stage, you are dead. But I guess the polar bear has like some
Maybe
special
it's better.
perk.
I don't know.
I guess
Well,
I'm
gotta check it
excited
out.
though because I can actually summon him. So that's one thing I do like is like I remember when you could summon spirits by getting rid of other spirits. I was like, man, I don't want to get rid of any spirits, but I'm like, bump this, I'm getting a good one. Because there's so many weak ones, dude. There's so many that aren't even worth using. But I
feel like
love
I
that
need
there's
to
so
have
many.
one of each.
Yeah, I probably will eventually just grind them all out. But there's so many you can upgrade to. Like, you can upgrade Paper Bowser to Sticker Star Paper Bowser, and he looks so cool. And I have Beast Ganon, and there's just Liquid. Dude, one of my favorites is obviously Shantae, but there's Liquid Snake, and he's Metal Killer. He does more damage to Metal.
Actually, I think I lost to him.
Oh, really?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you have to fight
I might
I'm
have
sorry,
got him.
not big. It's Big Boss. You have to
I
fight
didn't
Liquid
find him
Snake, and he becomes Big Boss, and he becomes Metal Killer. So
Ooh.
yeah, there's some cool spirits. I do like, and there's so many, and I am a Shantae fan, but I'm also a big Shovel Knight fan. So I love the fact that Shovel Knight, Shield Knight, Spectre Knight, King Knight, and Plague Knight are all spirits. I love that. I have got everybody but Shovel Knight so far, and
Why
I don't
is there
understand
4
why.
Shovel Knight ones and only 2 Shantae ones?
I don't know, man. Yeah.
Oh, well.
I am glad they're at least spirits, though.
I did
so.
see that. I think Japanese people are requesting for Shantae to be in Smash now.
Nice.
I saw like one or two tweets. I'm assuming it was Japanese. It was one of those Asian languages that I don't know how to read, but and like somebody retweeted and said like, "Oh yeah, even Japan wants Shantae in Smash." I was like, "Nice." I think I retweeted it. I don't remember. But anyway,
if nothing else, the spirits have given her the oomph she needs
think
for a
so.
worldwide audience.
That's what I was
Right.
telling you when you were upset at first, and I was like, "Dude, now everyone's gonna see Shantae."
Yeah. And now I see that, like, then I was just like, butthurt because Shantae's
Yeah,
not playable.
I felt
But now
bad
it's just
too,
like,
but-
dude, she has one of the best opportunities for the next Smash game
Yeah.
or the next DLC pack, because it's like, oh, who's the Shantae chick? And they
Yeah.
look her up and it's like, oh my gosh, I love her. I
Yeah.
want to play her games and play her in Smash now. So that's the best case scenario. If she couldn't be playable, she's
Yeah.
a spirit. She's not an assist trophy, and she's not a trophy. So
Although-
she has a chance.
I think
So-
with how easy it is to just pull the Switch out to play, I feel like this Smash game is gonna be the one that I just keep playing. Even when a new
Yeah.
Smash game comes out, I think I might still come back to it to
That's
play.
the thing.
Just
Like,
because
you can't
it's
beat
gonna
Smash
have all,
Ultimate.
it's gonna have
Yeah.
all the characters. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
really have a lot of newcomers in the next game to make me move from this one to that one. You're gonna have to have Shantae in the next one to make me play the next one.
Yeah, maybe, dude, if they had Shovel Knight and Shantae, I would absolutely crap my pants. I'm not even kidding.
I would take them.
It's like, oh, well, let's just throw Sora in there, too, because, like...
I would
it's
take
just-
all three of those over like Cloud and Snake, even though I love them as additions to the game. It's like these other characters I'm more inclined to personally want to use.
Yeah,
But-
I could live without Snake and Bayonetta. I mean, Cloud's cool, but
Oh, yeah,
keep
could live
keep
without
Sonic,
them.
Pac-Man, and Mega Man, and
Mhm.
scrap the rest of the third parties,
As long
and
as-
give us Shantae, Shovel Knight, Sora, and I
As
would
long
be
as my
set.
mains are in.
Yeah.
Although I am looking forward to
And
using
Banjo-Kazooie.
Snake, because when Snake came out in Brawl, I never played Metal Gear, and then I played all the Metal Gear games, and I was like, oh, why did Snake get taken out? Now I want to use him. So now I have the opportunity to use Snake. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I think that's about it for this episode. Those are our top fives for this year. I don't know when we're going to record the next episode, whether it's going to be after the new year, because we're all going to be busy. But we'll figure it out. Was there anything else you guys want to say? No,
No,
I
I think
guess
that-
not.
Thursday,
No, that was
this is
fun.
the last episode of the year. Merry Christmas, everybody!
Yeah.
Happy New Year!
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Merry
Yeah,
Christmas,
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy whatever holidays you celebrate, Happy New Year, and if we wind up joining on again before the New Year's, we'll probably say that again. If not, you can look forward to us trying to record again. I say trying in January. We definitely would love to hear any comments, any suggestions that you would love to hear. I think that D&D thing sounds fun. I think streaming some games sounds fun. I would love to stream some Smash with you guys if the internet allows it. And
True, yeah.
yeah, 'cause I don't know how it works. But yeah, and like I said in the beginning, we are totally down to have people come on the show, especially people who are part of the community and interact a lot more. Like, I don't think El Omni Alpha has asked, but I'd totally be like, yo, you ask things all the time. Why don't you come on for an episode? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm totally down
Mhm.
for people who are part of the community. Definitely.
Definitely.
Like, you guys are what's keeping us going. So, anyway, guys, that's it. Where can they find you guys? Nowhere? Okay.
Alpha, go ahead.
We're like Lucas. We're from nowhere.
Yeah.
Um,
Start with Ryan. Where can they find you, Ryan?
All right. Well, you can find me on YouTube, WreckitRyan, or you can find me on Twitter, WreckitRyan64.
All right. How about you, Alpha?
I'm on here on YouTube as Alpha Stoutland. You can also find me on Twitter and Discord by that same name.
I'm on a bunch of different things that have different usernames, but everything will be in the description. Even for Alpha and Ryan, you guys' stuff will be in the description below. And if you want to find me on YouTube, you're watching it already, so just hit that subscribe button. All right, guys. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Dum, dum.
All right,
How
Ryan.
can we pick rock 50 times in a row? No, okay.
And the one time they did something different, they both picked paper.